What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we're going over another prophecy weapon with the Relentless, which also rolls from that first boss, the nice Phalanx Echo, which you can farm super easily, one phase it with no problem when the dungeon is out. But either way, once a week per character, so 3 times you can go through the entire dungeon and get the loot from it. So it is still viable to go through even when it's not a farmable week as the dungeon. But we are going to go over this Relentless, like I said, with its new origin trait as well. So to start us out with the origin trait, we got Crossing Over. This weapon has increased range and handling for the top half of the mag, while bottom half of the mag deals more damage. So this thing inside of the Crucible, specifically in my opinion, for origin traits, absolutely slaps, especially with a pulse rifle like this, which I think is the meta compared to those faster rate of fire ones. With this nice slow aggressive burst, absolutely dapping people up at some crazy range. So for the PvP realm, for my masterwork, I'm going to go with range, and then for the counterbalance, stock is going to be my mod that we throw on this, just to help us out, giving us the best recoil direction as well as range and stability for this weapon. Now for our first column perks that we got, I'm going to go with small bore on this to give us that range and stability, +7 in each of those categories. If you are really feeling something that you need the handling inside of the Crucible to switch on and off the weapon faster, there is another choice for you. The fluted barrel right here, ultralight barrel, gives us +5 in stability, +15 to handling, so we still have 70 range and 64 on the stability, but we almost have 40 on the handling compared to before, where it was up to 77 range with 67 in that stability. But it is okay with this fluted barrel, totally up to you. Second column, definitely going with ricochet rounds in this. Feels the best in Crucible, bouncing it off walls, whatever have you. Plus we get that +5 to range and +10 to stability. So why this thing feels like an absolute laser beam at such a far distance, especially how this meta seems to play even in the new sandbox. Having this thing just like the Messenger absolutely slaps, but it pairs really well with that subclass of Strand, especially with something I use, a faux tracer hunter. This thing slaps. Now in the third column, we're going to have a couple different options. The first off, which I think is the #1 option, is Keep Away. We have increased reload, range, accuracy when no targets are in close proximity. So with this being that aggressive pulse, having almost 80 range, if we go with small bore, is able to proc Keep Away very easily and stay back at quite the distance. So definitely the best perk. Now the second option for me is Rapid Hit, a very close second, especially if you're having a little trouble controlling the weapon. Go with Rapid Hit because it gives us that extra stability and reload when we have those rapid precision hits. So you can see it stacks up to ×5, lasts for a couple seconds. You can see the different multipliers down below right there, but once you get ×5, up to 25 on that stability. So it turns it, like I said, into an absolute laser beam if you're having trouble with that stability and bounce. As for the fourth column, you could go with almost every single option in this category besides hatchling. So I'm gonna go over what I think the 3 best would be, which, starting us off, is Desperado right here. Reloading after those precision shots, especially if you have that rapid hit, you're gonna have both of these procced on those precision final bros. Gives us that increased rate of fire by 30%, and it shoots so fast, and it feels just about the same with the hitting ability, so that damage as well as the range that you're shooting at doesn't drop off like those faster shooting pulse rifles. So Desperado with like rapid hit for the combination is really good, but I do really like the combination that I would choose, which was that Keep Away, like I said before, and this next perk in Head Seeker. So you can see right here that Head Seeker body shots landed with this weapon increase precision damage and aim assist for a short time. Body shots landed while the perk is active refreshes that timer. So something like that Keep Away with Head Seeker is a match made in heaven. Definitely one of my favorite combos, but Desperado on this also is disgusting. Now, last but not least, for me personally, I would go with Moving Target as the third option. Increase movement speed, target acquisition while moving, while ADSing. So we have that nice reduced movement speed penalty, which is super cool when we're strafing and ADSing. It just feels super crisp when you're trying to bob and weave, slide around corners with this thing. So it is a very good third option. But like I said, you have two other options technically as well. We have a Frenzy in this category, which will be on our PvE version of this, but also very good, which you can see the stats that you get with that 15% increase to damage, plus 50 to reload and handling by being in combat. So it is a pretty nice little perk, but definitely I would go with one of the others. That other option that I was talking about is this bad boy with Zen Moment. Causing damage reduces the recoil and flinch over time. So if you are having trouble with that recoil, again, go with something like Zen Moment Rapid Hit, but that Keep Away with Head Seeker feels very good. You could even go Keep Away Zen Moment here, like I said, with that range masterwork, counterbalance stock. This thing absolutely slaps. Now when we move on to the PvE side of thing, not as many roles for this in that third and fourth column, but we do have a couple interesting options that you can pick to help out with that strand synergy and just being in battle. So first off, I am going to go with small bore in the first column for that range and stability. Don't need handling, anything like that. Even reload speed almost being at 40 on this pulse rifle feels just right. So having that 72 range, 56 ability just feels like the perfect zone for the PvE realm. Now for me, going with appended mag in this column, definitely my favorite to go with inside of the PvE realm. Unless there is tactical mag, they are both basically tied at the top, but appended right here, I don't know why this website does this, but it gives plus 46 in the magazine, which isn't the right plus. I think that's the total number of shots inside of the magazine. So it does give us some more shots in there without taking negative 20 from our reload like extended mag does. Now, the first option that I have in the third column right here for that strand synergy is Slice Casting. Your class ability allows this weapon to sever targets on hits for a brief duration up to a certain number of targets. So like 3 or 4 targets can be hit with this slice, which severs them, which is a very good thing to have on strand. You can do a lot with sever, get your class abilities back, just other abilities, create some threadlings, create some of those tangles. So definitely a nice little synergy to have on for strand. Now the other option that we have is Outlaw. So precision kills greatly reduces that reload time, so it adds 70 to our reload, which if we pair that with something in our fourth column, either of our perks, actually it does feel very good. Not as much in the strand synergy side, but it is a good overall perk. Now in that fourth column, that would pair good with either Slice for even more of the strand synergy, or Outlaw to produce even more hatchlings is the hatchling trait. So we get threadlings everywhere on those precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets. So we are able to use that with like our Swarmer Warlock being able to be the threadling king. So it is a very good perk, especially when paired with the Slice to have that strand synergy. You could lastly go with the Frenzy column, like I said before, for PvP, but you do, once you're in combat, have that extended time for damage, handling, reload. So plus 50 on reload, plus 15 on that damage increase is a pretty good percentage for each of those. So a very good PvE option just to do a little bit more damage. For the masterwork as well as the mod that I would have on this, go with range masterwork again. Totally up to you. I personally like having that nice range, so we can reach out, hit some of those GM enemies like those sniper shanks or those hobgoblins with that extra little bit of range. And then for the mod, I would definitely go with miner spec on here, so we do that about 8% increase in damage to minor combatants. Feels a little bit better in that GM content. So if you're going in something a little bit less, you could throw on something like major or boss spec. Totally up to you, but lots of options for these roles. Like I said, comes from that first boss in the prophecy dungeon. Will be farmable again in a couple weeks, but you can make sure to go through and do it at least once a week per character if you want the roles, get the secret chests, etc. So really truly appreciate all you guys coming back to the channel. Means a lot to me. I will catch you guys in the next one, which we are having a nice Pal World video tomorrow on the bosses. So appreciate you guys. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe to the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.